Hello everyone and welcome back to the Go Westeros YouTube channel. It's been a little while. I've been away because of equipment issues. I haven't been able to regularly use a computer for recording and planning these episodes, so I had to take a little hiatus. Of course, season 6 of Game of Thrones is now gone. Quick thoughts: it was an incredible season, loved it. But we are back in full force here on Go Westeros. Previously on this channel, we've looked at the current standings of the current houses of Westeros and how they pertain to A Song of Ice and Fire, but it's time to travel back in time a bit. In this new series, we are going to be examining extinct houses from Westeros, where they came from, where in the world they were, and how it all spiraled out of control for them. At this point, I should mention that this very well may contain spoilers for all 5 novels of A Song of Ice and Fire. It probably won't, but just in case. But this will contain spoilers for the beautiful companion book, The World of Ice and Fire. So if you're not up to date with that, it came out a couple of years ago, I would recommend it. I wouldn't continue on much further. I'm Jet, your host. Let's dive right into it, perhaps. House Mud was a noble house from the Riverlands, who once ruled as kings of the rivers and hills. They ruled from their castle of Oldstones, although in their time it was under a different, unknown name. According to semi-canon sources, their sigil was an emerald-studded golden crown upon a brown field, and their words are not known. The Mudds were actually first men. They were the last first men house to ever rule the Riverlands and reigned for over 1,000 years before that. As the most powerful of the first men dynasties of the Riverlands, their lands stretched as far south as the Blackwater Rush. The penultimate of these Mud Kings was King Christopher IV, called the Hammer of Justice. The singers tell us that he fought 100 battles against the Andal invaders and won 99 of them, only to fall in the 100th when he rode to war against an alliance of 7 Andal kings, where one of those was Mr. Advance as well. The song is likely embellished, however, by believers of the faith, 7. Christopher was succeeded by his son Christopher the Last, who failed to hold the Riverlands together. Later on down the line, it is said that a Mark Mudd, a would-be king and known as the Mad Bard, once unsuccessfully rebelled against the Durrandons, who, when they ruled the Riverlands, his authenticity is unconfirmed as the true extinction of House Mudd. Now, that was a quick one, so we move on to House Justman. House Justman was a noble house from the Riverlands who ruled as kings of the Trident, or kings of rivers and hills. That exact title isn't given. According to semi-canon sources, they blazoned their arms with golden scales on a white field surrounded by a double blue-lined border in a crest shape. Their words are not known. Following the Andal invasion, the first of these petty Andal kings to bring all of the Riverlands under their sway was a bastard born of 2 ancient enemies, the Blackwoods and, of course, the Brackens. As a young boy, he was known as Benedict Rivers, rarely liked by anyone, but as he grew to be the greatest warrior of his age, known as Sir Benedict the Bold. His amazing prowess on the battlefield won him the support of both his mother's house and his father's house, the Blackwoods and the Brackens, and soon the other river lords began to bend their knees for him as well. He spent 30 years of his life moving from petty Andal king to petty Andal king, putting them down before he even crowned himself. As king, he became known as Benedict the Just, a name he revered so much he set aside his bastard surname of Rivers and took Justman as the name of his house. As wise as he was stern, King Benedict Justman ruled for 23 years. Extending his domains as far as Maidenpool on the border of the Crownlands, not yet known as such, and as far up to the Neck. His son, Benedict II, reigned for 60 years, adding Duskendale, Rosby, and even the mouth of the Blackwater Rush to his kingdom. House Justman ruled the Riverlands for close to 3 centuries, as long as the Targaryens did later on down the line, up until their house was ended by Corrid Hor, king of the Iron Islands, who murdered the sons of King Bernard Justman II whilst they were held captive on pike. Bernard II was provoked into a hopeless war of vengeance against the Ironborn, in which he did not survive. The realm that the great Benedict Justman knitted together was torn asunder. And that leads us to our next extinct house. When the Justmans were vanquished, houses such as the Mallisters, the Vances, the Blackwoods, the Brackens and others contended for one another for supremacy in the Riverlands. The unlikely victor of these struggles was Lord Torrance Teague. Lord Torrance Teague was an adventurer of uncertain birth who came into immense fortune when he successfully raided the Westerlands. He used that gold to bring in sellswords from across the narrow sea in great numbers, and all of them seasoned warriors. Teague was crowned King of the Trident at Maidenpool after 6 long years of war. It is said that King Torrance nor his heirs ever sat securely on their thrones. House Teague wasn't very well loved, and were hated so much by those they ruled that they were forced to keep the sons and daughters of all the great Riverland houses at court as hostages. To add to this, the 4th Teague king, King Theos the Saddle-Sore, spent his entire reign on horseback, leading knights from one rebellion to the other. The reign of the Teagues came to an end when King Humphrey Teague I began to repress the old gods of the First Men with the support of the Faith Militant. House Blackwood, Vance and Tully rose against him. Although House Teague and their loyalist supporters came close to vanquishing these rebels, Lord Roderick Blackwood sought help from the Storm King Arlen Durrandon III, whom he was related to by marriage. Humphrey Teague, his 3 sons and his brother were all slain in what came to be known as the Battle of the Six Kings. One becoming king after the other was slain. Since Roderick Blackwood was also killed in the combat, I think it's presumed that Roderick would have become king of the Riverlands after the Teagues had died. King Arlen decided to add the Riverlands into his domains of the Stormlands. The golden trident sigil of the Teagues became extinct there and then. And as we wrap up on House Teague, we wrap up on this episode. It's another short one, but it's just a teaser for what's to come. We're going to be looking at more extinct houses. I'm very, very interested in them. We're going to be doing the Blackfires at some point, and I'm very excited to be delving into them. So I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you found at least some of what I said helpful in your quest to gain as much knowledge of this world as possible. Remember to find me on Twitter at GoWesteros. Drop me a comment, a tweet, some advice, some criticism, or just say hello. I've been Jack, your host, and I'll see you later.